How's it going, everyone? I am Dylan. This is my cousin Carlo. This is All You Can Board, and today we are talking our 3-year anniversary. It's crazy that it's been 3 years. I feel like it just flew by. Yeah, it's wild to think we've done like 300 and I think it's like 309 or 310 videos over 3 years.
I didn't realize it was that many.
Yeah, it's wild to me. So today we're going to go over a bunch of different things. We have one really big announcement that'll be at the end of the video, and for those of you out there that just want to hear that, you can just skip right to it in the timestamps. But we have a bunch of good stuff before that, so you should stick around. And we'll go through them all. We have some things that we're going to be teasing for the year ahead, and just some cool things that you can expect, for all of 2023 and beyond. So first thing, I guess, what we normally do with these is just kind of reflect a little bit on the previous year. So obviously we did cross 15,000 subscribers, which is wild. I think when we did our anniversary video in January, that was my guess of like where we would be roughly. I said 15, but we ended up being at 16 or around 16 by like beginning of January. Of the year or something. So unbelievable. Thank you to everyone who's joined our channel this year and become part of the AYCB community or joined our Discord and commenting in our comment section and everything. We've covered so many games. We've started a new series. Is there anything that's like stands out as a highlight for you?
Well, I think it was the beginning of last year when we did that last anniversary video that we launched the Discord and the Patreon and all that stuff, which actually helped us build up to our biggest event yet for the channel, which was the charity live stream we did back in May. So those were some pretty huge highlights for the year.
I forgot that happened.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you if you were forgetting. Like, do any other things stand out? Oh, what about those monumental things we did? But yeah, other than that, I think there was some interest. Like we started the collection roasting, rating and roasting series, which again, shout out to Tom who gave us the idea for that a while ago. We started some other series and stuff like that. But yeah, that's pretty much the ones that stand out to me.
And then this kind of segues into the next topic as well. But another big thing in 2022 for us was our charity live stream event for mental health. So back in May, we did a 24-hour board game live stream session with the help of our friend Braden, and we played games for 24 hours straight. And we raised, I can't remember the exact total, it was like over $16,000 for Sarah Riel, a local mental health organization here. Blew all our expectations out of the water. It was so much fun. So I know we've had this question a lot, which is, are you going to be doing another 24-hour live stream this year? So we are not going to be doing one this year. It is something we want to do again, but it takes a lot of work, and we have to pull together a whole bunch of different things, including like gear rentals or gear donations, and the space and people's time, and just all the planning that we have to be able to dedicate to it while still doing stuff for the channel. We do want to do it again. We won't be doing it again this year, but we are going to try to do something else, or that can raise some money for mental health, or on a smaller scale. And then hopefully, I mean, ideally, I don't want to make promises, but ideally it would be great if like it becomes like sort of like an every second year thing. Maybe like every 2 years we do a live stream, and then the off years we do something on a smaller scale to raise some money. That's kind of where our heads are at now. We don't know whether it'll be in May or what the case is, but just so we'll head off those questions, I know we'll get them. We did have a great time doing it. We want to do it again. It just is very taxing, a lot of work, and so it'll be some time before we revisit it, maybe in 2024.
Yeah, we just have some other things we want to do for the channel as well that will be sort of taking up a lot of our attention this year. So
yeah. Another thing I want to throw out there. So around Christmas time, we made a post, or I made a post in the Discord, just kind of wishing everyone happy holidays and teasing that we had a big announcement coming in this video that you're watching right now. And we asked people to guess what the big announcement was, and we got a few people guessing about one of us or both of us going full time for the channel. So that is not the announcement. We're not going full time for All You Can Board. But I did want to just kind of like, I think I suggested, and you agreed, like just we kind of want to address this idea of going full time, because maybe after people have watched a channel that has been around for 3 years, and you start to near 20,000 subscribers and stuff, you start to wonder, hey, like maybe someone's gonna quit their job and do it full time. That's not something we're planning to do right now. I think you've said too, like it would be great. It's not something like we wouldn't want to do it, or in the future.
Yeah, like if the opportunity presented itself, of course, who wouldn't want to do this full time if we could? But
the thing is that in the board game space, because it's kind of it's niche and it's small. The biggest channel in the board game space is considered a small channel in the video game space, or not small, but like medium sized or whatever the case may be. And so to go full time in the board game space, you kind of have to find a bunch of different outlets and avenues to make money to compensate that you don't have a salary now. Like we'd have to take on so many more paid previews and Kickstarter previews and how to plays.
Probably get sponsorships from other companies involved in board games and stuff like that.
Yeah, and not that there's tons of channels that do it, and we completely understand the reasons why, and I think it's great if that is the content you want to be doing, and that you can then make that your full-time job. I mean, that's really exciting. For us, the type of content we want to produce for all of you is very focused on you, on board gamers, on stuff that we find interesting, on suggesting certain games, reviewing certain games, making lists, talking about Keyforge, talking about Marvel Champions, whatever is interesting to us, then we think will be interesting to you. And we can't maintain that focus, but also take on all these paid previews and everything, and have our channel maintain the integrity that we wanted to at this point. So it's just not something that's in the cards for us right now or for the foreseeable future. I think something would have to change in the YouTube landscape in terms of how much money we're making from ad revenue and stuff, that if all of a sudden we looked at it and said, oh, with this, one of us can go full-time or both of us can go part-time, maybe we reconsider. But I feel like that's probably we're talking years down the road, not months down the road.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just full disclosure for anyone who doesn't know this, we don't even do this part-time in the sense that there is no pay involved in this for us. We've been doing this for, the channel's been active for 3 years. We started working on it long before then. We've never paid ourselves a single penny of any of the revenue that we've brought in for AYCB Board. All that goes towards equipment. We've started buying some games with the money, which we felt a bit weird about, but I think we need to start doing that a little more so that we're able to review games more timely and that kind of thing. But yeah, so it is very much we have regular full-time jobs, and as it is, we don't have as much time as we'd like to do this. So we're nowhere near going full-time, and we just wanted to kind of explain why that is, because I was surprised that we got that many people guessing that.
I think you hit a certain subscriber count, and you hit a certain time of being a YouTube channel, and people, it almost becomes this not rite of passage, but at some point it's oh, they're going full-time, they've made it or something.
It just makes me wonder, how much money do people think that we're bringing it, we're really not this is a very
I said, you can do it, but we would have to be previewing every Kickstarter game, charging for every single one, and our channel will become something very different than it is now, and it's something that we currently just aren't interested in.
And it would also just involve it becoming a thing of a lot more deadlines. We have these commitments, and it wouldn't give us the freedom to do things the way that we have for the last little while. And part of what has made our channel grow is I think that we've maybe gone in a bit of a different direction and kind of created these new series and those kinds of things. So yeah, we're definitely going to stick with that.
Yeah. Next quick thing, you might have noticed in the last little bit that for a while, I think in 2021 we had, especially early in the year, we were putting out sometimes 12 to 13 videos a month. We were putting out a lot more content, and I think in the last few months, and maybe since later in the summer, you've probably seen it be somewhere between almost never more than 10 now, and sometimes as low as 7 or 8. So just in case you happen to notice that transition, we figured we'd address it here. We are going to be doing less videos every month, but not less than you've currently been seeing, kind of just what you've already been seeing for the past couple months. So I would say to expect probably 6 to 8 videos from us. That could fluctuate. It could be that we have a couple of big video projects one month that we want to put time into, and so we do a little bit less. It could be that we, there's some Marvel Champions releases, and there's some other things we're excited about, and we have some more time because maybe we have time off work or whatever, and we do more. Or around the holidays, maybe we do more. But in general, I would say probably 6 to 8 videos, and that's just so that we can maintain, a quality, a level of quality that, makes us feel good and that we can feel proud about putting out, while still, having fun with the channel, not feeling like it's taking too much out of us, too taxing, we're not going to burn out.
Yeah, and not only that, but this is going to lead to one of the next points, but it'll allow us to spend a bit more of our time that we are together actually playing games, because there's been so many big name titles that we've wanted to cover on the channel, and we're oh, we don't have enough plays, we've only played this game once, we've only played this game twice, and then we're running out of videos that we have ready to go, so we're meeting up to film when we could instead be playing these bigger titles. So then we're reviewing maybe a lot of smaller games we might not be quite as interested in, just because we're ready to review them. So we just want to be able to get back to having that focus go again on what are the games we want to play most and cover most on the channel. And so it might lead to slightly fewer videos than again last year, but we're hoping that that'll lead to sort of improved quality across the board and even a better selection of games that you see being covered on the channel.
Yeah. Next one, we touched on this a little bit, but just expanding on it. So we talked about paid previews and how we're not going full time, but we have done paid content on the channel. We've always tagged it as such, and so you guys are aware. But it's usually been in the form of or I think almost entirely been in the form of Kickstarter or crowdfunding previews.
Yeah. Because we never do anything paid in terms of reviews. No. We never ever would do that.
Yeah. So in general, we kind of have talked about it, and it's not that we're never going to do them going forward, but I would say that it's going to be rare that we do paid stuff going forward, and it's for a lot of
reasons.
And
previews in general.
Yeah, and previews in general. Like, us doing Kickstarter previews isn't like the thing that excites us the most. That being said, there are going to be games that come out that one of us might be very interested in doing content for. Like, an example that I'll give is, and actually they reached out to us for this, but the Tainted Grail Kings of Ruin video we did, I was interested in doing that, and we weren't paid for that video because of the fact that I didn't quite like Tainted Grail all that much, and they reached out and said, we'd love you to take a look at that for that exact reason. It was interesting to do that video from the perspective of, I'm someone who didn't like Tainted Grail, am I going to like this game that they say improves on the things that people had an issue with? That was interesting to me, I knew it would be interesting to the viewers, and so we took it on, and I wasn't paid to do that one. Things like that will still come up. We'll probably still cover some games from Flat Out Games because of the Winnipeg connection and because we just really like their games. But in general, we're not going to be seeking out those opportunities. We're going to turn down even more than we already turned down, and they likely won't be paid anymore. We want to be able to speak the truth about what game we're looking at, whether we like it or not. In the preview stage, we want to be able to just create content that is valuable to all of you. It's easier to do that when you don't have the muddiness of like getting paid for different content. I think the best chance we would have of doing paid content at this point would be if someone wanted to pay us to how to play, and we were really interested in doing that how to play. Like, we haven't done one in a while, and they do take a lot of work. That is content I would say I would be comfortable getting paid to do because it would make sense. The preview stuff, if we're interested, we'll reach out, we'll cover a game for a preview, and we'll do it honestly from whatever perspective we see fit. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we for anyone who's curious, like, we wrote about this in a one of our Patreon exclusive newsletters a few months ago, just the level of risk and the investment of time and effort and kind of thing when it's an unpaid preview. We've just had it come back to bite us too many times where we've invested a lot of time and then either the campaign doesn't end up going live, and we've spent time learning a game and filming all this stuff. So we shifted to those paid previews. But again, like Dylan said, it's kind of muddying those waters. And just as a quick example, even a game that we recently, well, I guess, yeah, when you see this, it'll have been recently. I was going to say, I don't know if that'll be a future video because it's not up yet, but there'll be a campaign for a game called Zuvatis, and this is a paid preview. So in the preview, like, of course, I'm trying to remain as neutral as possible, just kind of being informative about the game. But then we also did our most anticipated games video, and it is a game I'm anticipating. And then I'm kind of waffling between in one video trying to contain my excitement so I don't seem biased when I'm doing the preview, and then in the anticipated games, I'm trying not to seem too not excited just because we got paid, right? So it kind of just changes the way we talk about games across different platforms, and so we just figured, it doesn't really coincide with the direction of the channel overall. So
yeah. Another really quick thing is just in general, we want to cover more games that we love, that we're excited about. And so there are a lot of titles we haven't got to from like 2022. It's one of the reasons we haven't done our top games of 2022. There's games we haven't got to from 2021 and earlier that I think we want to start tackling. Like, we've talked about recently games like Ark Nova and stuff that we need to get more plays into review. Things like that are on our priority list. We have some games that we were sent from last year that we still haven't covered. There's like 3, but they're bigger games, like ones that take time. We want to be able to invest the time to play those, to bring you guys a review content. That a lot of that might be on Own and Play at Skip It's. We really enjoy doing that series. We like the format. We can get a lot of games covered in one video, so you'll still see those from us. But we will still do standalone reviews from time to time when we think a game, it makes sense to do it for that title or whatever.
And I think we also want the retro reviews to take off a little more. Obviously, we had the one video sort of at the tail end of 2022, and it seemed to do pretty well. People enjoyed it, and that's something we enjoy talking about older games, like when we do our list videos and our top 50 and all kinds of stuff, and we don't want the reviews on our channel just to be from games within the last couple of years. So we've really enjoyed doing that, and that'll definitely be a big focal point of the channel next year as well, or I guess this year.
Yeah. Next one is, I heard a rumor that Carlo's never buying a board game again. So.
Not ever again. So basically, I decided a few months back, sometime in the fall of 2022 there, that 2023 was basically going to be a no buying games year for me. I'm not going to get too into this in this video because basically I'm going to sort of announce this and talk a bit more in detail about it in the next Curating My Collection video I do, which for viewers of the channel who've been around for a while, you'll see I've done 4 or 5 of those in the past. So I'll get into more detail about it there, but the basic idea is that I'm not going to be buying any new games to add to my personal collection. I kind of went on a buying spree, knowing that. I went on a buying spree near the end of 2022.
Yeah, you bought a lot of games.
Yeah, I bought a bunch of games kind of knowing like these are games I've wanted for a while. I don't care if I have to pay a little bit more. They're not on sale, who cares? But then I want to just kind of unplug from buying games for a while. And 2023 is going to be a year where I just sort of focus on playing through my collection, revisiting favorites, and then paring down my collection to be as kind of, anyway, just down to my favorites as much as possible. So yeah, I'll have a lot more to talk about that in curating my collection video, and curious to chat with some of our Discord members, because I feel like when I started thinking about this, then I've seen all these people saying stuff about like, oh, this is going to be the no buy year for me, or I'm playing through my collection this year, doing these 10x10 challenges, and I'm like, did I steal that idea from someone else without knowing? But anyway, yeah, I'm excited because for a little while, especially since we've started the channel, there's been this kind of like, we buy a lot of games, we play a lot of brand new games, we don't get to play our favorites a lot, and I kind of miss that.
Yeah, and that makes a nice segue, because then I want to make my announcement, which is 2023 is going to be an all-buy year for me. So I'm going to be buying all the games.
Dylan will be buying all my used games that I cull once I'm done with them.
No, I will still be buying games, and I should even preface or mention for you, like, there will still be like AYCB titles that we probably jointly get here and there that might be exceptions to the rule. I think this is just like, we throughout the year, both of us will place orders on like Board Game Bliss or go locally and buy games. Like, that's what you're talking about more so than like, you're still going to play new games. Well, it's just not adding games to your collection.
Actually, and I was going to say, I specifically in this buying spree over the last few months bought a lot of games from 2022, and I have a few still from 2021 that are unplayed and stuff like that. So this isn't to say that you're not going to see new games on the channel. I've kind of stocked up on most of the games I want to play from 22. I either have, or one of us has. We have a joint copy, and yeah, we will buy joint games together. I also have a few on pre-order, and if like, let's say one of my Grail games that I've never been able to find a copy of presents itself, I'm not going to turn down that opportunity to get it based on some arbitrary restriction I'm placing on myself. So, but yeah, I'll be relying on you to keep me in check a little bit.
Oh, that's a bad idea. So next up is, we're going to tease something that is, we have no official date, we have no content really to tie in with it, but we are making it a major goal to do this year, and I think that I'm pretty confident that we will do it this year. We just don't know when it'll be, and that is starting a podcast. So we have thought about this for a while. We already have like some of the equipment here and everything, because it's something we really want to pursue, and there's a lot of reasons. We won't get into all of them, but like one of the big ones is, for us, there's been a lot of things we want to discuss, that are less game they're still board game focused, but it's less like, it's not necessarily a list, or it might be a topic that there would be no B-roll or like video on the footage that we'd be putting out on YouTube, and so it would just be potentially like a 45-minute video of us talking, which some people love, but those people that love it, a lot of them listen to our videos and kind of have them in the background. So there's some topics we would love to be like addressing and talking about, and certain even games that maybe wouldn't make sense to do a video of, but we'd love to still cover in some regard, that a podcast will allow us to do. And it's a lot easier for us to do a podcast in the sense that we each have the equipment at our own houses. So we don't have to. Carlo doesn't have to commute here to film. I don't have to commute to Carlo's. We can kind of be here separately, do it online. It's easier and quicker to edit together, especially when you have the templates and everything all done up already. So it won't take a lot of added work from us, and it's also something that like, it's not like we're saying we're going to be doing like a weekly podcast. Like I don't think, maybe, who knows, maybe one day.
Who knows, but
I think in general this would just be sort of an additional thing to All You Can Board that's not taking anything away from our videos, not reducing the amount of videos we do or anything.
Yeah.
We want to make sure we have the time to do it, and that's why we're sort of teasing it instead of saying we're doing it, to expect it here.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, we're not setting a deadline, because it's not that we have to launch it if it's not ready to go. But as we, transition throughout the year, that's definitely something we're going to be working towards, and we're very excited for. So
yeah,
more details to come later. It's very much just in the very early stages. So there's we don't have a lot of answers if you have questions for us, basically.
Except that you can probably expect it this year.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited. We already have so many topics we talk about. Like we have a WhatsApp group where me and Carlo have discussed like different ideas, and there's been so many things we've been like, this would be a great podcast episode. Yeah. This would be a great podcast episode.
And then it means that we'll also review more games on the channel, like in actual review formats, because some of those other list type videos will translate to a podcast instead, which frees up more slots on the channel for stuff that benefits more from having B-roll and showing off game components up close and that kind of thing.
Yeah, and then you can listen to us in the car, which is one of the areas where you currently can't listen to us.
Yeah.
And all we have to do is conquer the other areas you can't listen to us, like the shower and stuff. Like, I don't know. There's got to be more.
But someone told us once that they listened to us at the gym, but like when you try and like make the black screen on YouTube, it just stops playing. So I'd imagine them just having their phone down.
Unless that's one of the YouTube. Is that like a YouTube premium feature?
Oh, it could be, yeah. Could be.
But that's great. See, now you can do it even more easily at the gym. You don't have
exactly.
to open YouTube like a scrub. You can just open up a podcast app. All right. So next up is Carlo is going to talk about a new initiative that we don't have a new thing we would like to do sometime this year that we don't quite have a name for, but I think we're tentatively just calling the AYCB Hall of Fame, right? So
yeah. So the basic idea behind it is that we will be introducing at some point in 2023, as Dylan said, sort of an AYCB Hall of Fame. So the details are still to be worked out and whatnot, but the idea is that we want to have sort of a go-to place where, and this will probably be like a list that lives on our website once we have our website a bit more updated, which is another goal we have for the new year. But it's going to be a sort of a collective list of the games that we at All You Can Board collectively agree are like sort of Hall of Fame games that we think are among the best. So for anyone who is a Patreon supporter, you might have recently seen we did a Patreon video analyzing our top 50 games of all time. And I kind of highlighted in there what are the games that Dylan and I both agree on and kind of like what was our collective top 20 from the games. So that's kind of something we want to do because a lot of the time people will comment in our videos and say like, what's a good game for this type of situation or for this many players? And, you know, Dylan and I, yeah, we have a decent amount of overlap, but we also have a lot of difference in our tastes. So, you know, whether it's me responding or him responding, we might be giving different answers, but I think it would be kind of cool to have somewhere that people can see like, hey, what are games that are just safe picks that I know Dylan and Carlo both like that are kind of like, yeah, just more reliable picks, whether it's to buy as a gift for someone or for new gamers coming into the hobby who just don't know and they don't want to go with as risky of a pick. Maybe they don't want to take the risk on Agricola based on what Dylan thinks, and instead, wow, in an anniversary video, right? But yeah, so, you know, this is something that we're always open to chatting with people. We're open to ideas and suggestions and stuff. And it's not something we're going to roll out imminently, but it could lead to having specific videos where we talk about, here are the games that we're adding to the Hall of Fame now, or games that maybe leave the Hall of Fame down the road and that kind of thing. So, yeah, that's just a small thing we wanted to say about it. But keep an eye out for that in 2023 at some point.
Yeah, more to come. Okay, it's time for the big announcement.
The main event?
This is the main event. So this is the one.
The title belt?
The title belt, yeah, the heavyweight championship. So yeah, this is the one we teased if you were in our Discord, that we had a big change coming to the channel. By far the biggest change for All You Can Board since, I don't know, since we...
No, the biggest change.
Yeah, the biggest change since, since we started. So the big announcement, and we'll get to the full reveal in a little bit, but the big announcement is that AYCB is getting an additional member. There are now going to be 3 people that make up All You Can Board, and not just myself and Carlo. And before we introduce this person, because they actually are here just off camera, we wanted to give a little bit of context on why this is happening. So I want to preface this by saying that we didn't, you know, it's not like we decided, oh, we want to have a 3rd member, let's go out and find a 3rd member. You know, we're too busy, we need a 3rd person. Like, that wasn't the rationale. We just happened to know someone who we increasingly thought would be an excellent fit on the channel, and it made more and more sense that eventually Carlo and I had that conversation. We both had been kind of thinking it without actually saying the words to each other, and we agreed. It took us some time to kind of, you know, get all the details in order and get it to this point. But for us, what we've heard, like from in the comment sections on our videos and in our Discord, is almost universally what people tend to say is their favorite thing about our channel is the fact that the rapport that Carlo and I have on camera, and like the, you know, how it just feels like we're having a conversation, or we can have a lively debate and the banter and the fun stuff. People just like to hang out with us, they like to say, right? Like there are guys that I feel like I'd like to just game with, or just like, you know, have a conversation with. That is something we've taken, like, since we've heard that, we've taken seriously in the sense that, like, we know that that's probably our strongest suit. We're cousins who have known each other our whole lives.
And been gaming together since we were like 4, right?
Exactly. So the biggest thing for this announcement and bringing on a 3rd person is that we have no intention and no desire of losing that. That is what makes All You Can Board, in my opinion. And so it was important to us that that's something that we maintain. And that's part of the reason I think we both came to this conclusion, is that this person that we're going to be introducing. It's so funny to keep saying this person, as then we have to like not say it. Yeah. This person that we're going to be introducing onto the channel, we have a great rapport with. We play board games with constantly. We have lively debates with, and conversations and banter and jokes and everything. So you shouldn't notice any difference in terms of the way that we are on camera, the way we talk about videos. This person will do videos with Carlo, with me, by themselves, and it should feel like a natural fit, and we're pretty confident about that because otherwise we wouldn't be making this change to the channel, right?
Yeah, we're both pretty thorough, like detail-oriented people, and we have a specific vision that we want for the channel, and it was never going to be about just doing it just for having another body. Like if this person wasn't interested, we weren't going to then pivot and go find someone else. Like we would have just continued the channel, just the two of us. So it really was about having the perfect fit.
Yeah, and then the other big bonus that does come with this, though, of course, is that there is now another person here that can do videos. They actually have a video production background, and they can, maybe that's a little bit of a tease for the people who are on our Discord, video production background and everything too. So they can be doing editing and helping with camera stuff and giving it, even like upping our game and upping our quality and stuff like that. So from just the perspective of like the videos that we're putting out and the types of content, it's freeing up me and Carlo a little bit more, so we don't have to film quite as often. Like we'll still be filming, but if I'm doing a video with this person and you aren't in that video, that's one less video you have to worry about, and you can be focused on the next video you're shooting and planning that out and whatnot. So it frees us up. There's more resources at our disposal, and there's just more people working on stuff behind the scenes. So I think in general you should see a really positive shift in that sense in our content, because it's not that we're going to be doing more content, but I feel like the quality of it should be higher, and you'll get more perspectives now as well.
Yeah, and for a little while we've been sort of meeting up to film without anything in our backlog, and we're kind of just like getting by week to week or every couple weeks sort of thing. And I feel like this is just going to be a big help to sort of help us get, just meet some of the goals we want for the channel and have the content be just more consistent across the board. And just, I don't know, we're really excited about this.
Yeah, so AYCB is going from 2 people to 3 people. That's a too long, didn't read. And I think we're ready to bring them on, eh?
I think so.
Okay, let's
introduce
you to the third member of All You Can Board. This is Braden. So Braden, you might already be familiar with from our Discord. So you just never seen him on camera before, but you have seen him on our 24-hour live stream if you did watch that in May. So yeah, Braden's been a moderator on our Discord. He's been an active member of All You Can Board for a long time, and I think I've known you since, when did I start True North? That was like 2015, 2016, something like that.
Yeah, I guess so, somewhere around there.
Yeah, so going on like 7 years now, almost as old. Our friendship's almost as old as my dog. It's great.
My
So Braden, I'm going to throw it to you to tell the folks at home who you are and a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, hey guys.
How about how long I've known Braden for?
Oh, sorry. I don't care.
I met Braden through Dylan. I've only known him for a few years, but has quickly become a close friend.
True, yeah, that's a good point. I'm super excited to join you guys, honestly. I feel like this is a great privilege to join, and I'm super excited to continue my board gaming journey here now and chronicle it on YouTube as well.
It's gonna be immortalized now. Everything you
say,
everything you do is
every opinion I have, criticize. My goodness,
absolutely.
Yeah, a little bit about my board game journey. I started back in like 2013. I got introduced to board games through like one of the first games that blew my mind was Escape the Lost Temple, I think it is.
Oh yeah,
the real-time rolling game where you're trying to go through this temple and escape.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty straightforward. It says escape on the box. And that, I was like, oh my God, what is this game? And then we played Space Alert after that same day, which is like programmed actions. And that was just like chaotic and hectic all at once, which is really, really cool. And that just like spurred me and like thrust me directly into board gaming from then on out too. So
I just thought of this too. I gotta mention it. Like you and me worked together for a bit before we really even talked.
Yeah.
And I remember it was either on Snapchat or Instagram or something that at some point you posted like you had bought some board games or something. And I just remember going into it was either I went into your office or you came out to me, and it was just like, you like board games? And it was just like, boom, done. Friendship started.
And what was, I specifically remember, I think it was the photo of, I think I bought Concept, Sheriff of Nottingham, and Codenames together. And I posted that.
And I had just bought Codenames, and then I ended up buying Sheriff of Nottingham because I saw it in your story.
So that's crazy. I had no clue.
It's been a while.
Yeah, we didn't even know. Like we worked together, whatever, and we're like, I mean, he's cool. He does media production. We've got something in common. But who knew a few years later,
yeah,
7 years later, craziness.
What are your favorite types of board games? What do you gravitate towards?
Yeah, I feel like my taste, which I think is really great coming on here, is that they differ a little bit from both of you a little bit. You know, I've watched, I feel like almost every single video that you guys have put out, so I feel like I have a good idea.
This guy's our #1 supporter. You go back and watch our original videos 3 years ago, and this guy's name is in the comments of everyone probably.
Check me in the comments. And I'll be watching you in the comments.
No threats in your first video.
Sorry. Forgot that was part of the list.
Yeah, contract.
I think my tastes are, at least right now, I think are very casual. You know, I favor a lot of party games. I used to host a lot of social deduction games, and I'm really looking forward to doing more of those.
Oh, yeah.
I've got one game that I'm not going to mention right now. I'm going to tease that I'm definitely going to cover later on that I'm super excited for.
You should all be excited for it.
Oh my gosh. Social deduction, more casual party games. Obviously, I think it's required for me to join the channel. A big Reiner Knizia fan as well, too. So those kind of things, and to do my first tease, if I will, if you want to know more about and specifically about my tastes, I am going to be doing my top 10 videos, which is either out while you're watching this, or if you're watching this as this releases, it's going to be the next video coming up. So check it out if you're curious about how my tastes vary. And let me say, one of the games that is on my top 10 was not even in my top 100 in the past, 10 days. Like I played it 2 weeks ago and immediately catapulted into my top 10.
I think I know what it
is.
I don't think you do.
Never mind then. Is it a game you bought yourself?
Yeah.
Then I think I do know what it is.
I don't know.
No, fair enough.
Because it's been in my collection for a long time.
Oh, then I don't know.
Yeah, that's right.
That will be the next video. So the next video you see on the channel will be Braden's top 10 board games of all time.
And I think that's one way to really get to know what a reviewer's or am I a reviewer now? Not yet.
Once you do your first review.
We will officially anoint you a reviewer.
Really get to know someone's taste though is through a top 10 and really start to check out and really criticize.
Especially because we're going to be here ragging on him while he's
That's right. Honestly, I'm looking forward to that.
But so like we mentioned earlier, a big part of us, starting or doing this and bringing a third person on was that we wanted to maintain the rapport that we have on the channel and the fact that it is very conversational and we have some great discussions and we have some fun and we have some laughs and people feel like they can just spend 40 minutes with us, spend an hour with us and kind of just feel like they're part of that group, that conversation. And we really, really are pretty confident that that's going to be something that you're continuing to see because, and hopefully you're already seeing it now, the types of conversations and discussions and debates that Carlo and I have are the same type that Braden and I have, that Carlo and Braden have and stuff. So I think that you'll just see that from different perspectives now. And there will be videos with Braden and Carlo doing a list, or myself and Braden doing whatever video, or Braden doing a solo video, or either me or Carlo continue to do solo videos. You'll get a lot of different perspectives as we go forwards.
Yeah, and for anyone who doesn't watch the channel frequently and doesn't know what to expect, just know that when we had our live stream event, we had tons of people in our community telling us you guys got to get Braden involved more, and Braden the third cousin, that guy's awesome, and it was great to see. And then when we did one of our newsletters a little while back, we actually had a couple patrons comment and say, hey, you should try Braden out on camera kind of thing. And this is when we had started thinking about it and we wanted to say shut up, it's a secret.
Spoiling the surprise.
But it's not only us who are excited. There's a lot of people already who know the kind of effect he's had on the channel and the rapport he has with us, and they're excited as well. So
one quick thing we did want to address is there is a part of this, and Desmond's just climbing up now, he's been pretty good this whole time, is the fact that we are very aware that Carlo and I are two white males and we're bringing on a third white male onto our channel. And we did want to address this because diversity is something that is important to us in the board game space and in every space in the world. We believe that all the talk that's been happening for the last number of years in the board game space about added diversity, not just in terms of content creators, but also the people that are around the table and publishers and designers and artists and everything is so important. This decision was not us saying we want to have a third person on the channel, let's go out and do a search. The only reason we're doing this is because we felt like there was someone that we had that rapport with it, that we could maintain, you know, this type of conversationality and stuff. I still don't know if that's a word. On camera.
I'm going to call you out there. But,
I don't think so.
On camera, and you know, that also loves board games, also has time to be in videos, also is okay with not being paid because Carlo and I don't pay ourselves, and you know, is good on camera. Like, there's so many different conditions that this is only really happening because it all aligned with Braden. So that all being said, we will continue, and we'd like to think we already do, you know, try to direct people to a lot of other channels that you know, really do put diversity at the forefront in terms of the content they create and the people that are behind the camera. You know, channels like Our Family Plays Games and Think Your Themer and Before You Play and Shelf Side. Like, there's so many. I could sit here and name them all day, and we'll be happy to like recommend any of these channels to people who are interested and wanting to see that content. What we think we can do is just continue to support those channels, continue to be advocates for diversity in the board gaming space. And our main initiative that we've decided to take on, you may have seen that obviously in May with the live stream, that we think we can speak to and we have a personal connection and background to, is mental health. And so we've been kind of focusing on having that be the initiative that we really champion, we really kind of like lead the charge on in some ways. And then in issues like diversity and things like that, we are supporting in every way we can, because we know we can't necessarily be the ones like leading the charge at the front of those type of things. And I think you mentioned too, and I forgot about this, and you know, just another instance of making me feel so proud about that live stream, is that the 16,000 that we raised, we ended up finding out that the large majority of where that money was going to go locally here in Winnipeg was people that were struggling with mental health in the Indigenous community, as well as underrepresented minorities. So that was a huge, like I think both of us just had huge smiles on our faces when we found out about that, because it's just such an honor that we were able to do anything to help those communities, so even beyond mental health as well, to help those communities that need it. So yeah, I think if there's anything you guys want to add to that, or anything specifically that
I don't think so. Personally, no. I think you nailed it.
Okay. This was the big announcement. This is Braden joined the channel. 2 becomes 3. What's that song that's at the end of Spider-Man No Way Home? 3 is the magic number.
Oh,
that's what we should be playing under here now. Carlo has no idea.
Yeah, I was going to say, any Marvel discussions that happen, I'm just going to be shrugging off to the side.
I hope you've enjoyed the video, and you can look out for, like Braden mentioned, his top 10 games of all time will be the next video on the channel. Yeah. And otherwise, thank you for sticking around with us for 3 years and continuing to watch our videos, and for being with us for this big, huge evolution. Or what do you
got? I was going to say, there's something.
The Discord, we put the question out there, right?
Oh, of course.
Don't
Good
forget
call.
about that.
Yeah.
Already here saving the day. Look at me.
Yeah, we wanted to call out. We wanted to call out 2 people, because when we put out the tease for the announcement, we asked people to guess what the announcement was, and we had 2 guesses that actually got it correctly. One exactly, and that is Riot Vale specifically said Braden is completing the trifecta, is how he worded it.
Yeah, you know us well, TJ.
Yeah, so you were 100% right. Yeah. And then we had Kyle, who also said Ready Player 3 with a question mark. So I maybe didn't guess Braden specifically, but guessed that we were bringing on a 3rd person. So congratulations, you guys got it right. The only 2 people who guessed correctly.
To be fair, there were a couple of people who did guess podcast, and that was something we also hinted at, even though it wasn't the major announcement. Yeah. But you people only get bonus points.
Yeah, half points. Half points.
Half points. Yeah. We're counting points, and at the end of the year, we'll tally the points. And
that's right.
You'll win nothing. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Look out for Braden's top 10 of all time, and for a really exciting 2023 with a whole new perspective and a whole bunch of great content. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.
Bye.